Hey everyone, this is Joycey.
And Blake.
And welcome to Savagely Scaled. Watch out.
Whoa, you were going fast.
Right?
I was trying to catch up. I was like, Savagely Scaled.
Get with it.
This is actually our part 2 to our essentials. So we're spacing those out. In this one, we are going to continue to look at some of the tools and accessory and apparel you should be eyeing as new CrossFitters. We will review some of the top CrossFit brands as well as our personal favorite.
That's right.
Time for the music.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right. So I get to do the word of the day, and the word of the day for today is kipping. It is a way of swinging your body to gain momentum. Commonly used muscle ups, handstands. It allows you to create power through your swing.
Yeah.
And with this is a shoulder and chest movement with CrossFit. Other times,
Used all the time.
Yep.
All the
Other
time.
times people use their legs, and for CrossFit that won't get you anywhere but a big, huge swing.
Yep. Can't
Yep.
go wrong. There's nothing like the feeling of kipping too. Once you have it down, it's so cool. Like,
And it's the rhythm.
yeah.
'Cause that's what people forget. They're like, how do you do this thing?
You
I'm
gotta
like,
stay tense
Yep.
the whole
I'm
time.
like, stop moving your legs. Glue your legs together and don't move
it's
your
so
hips.
hard.
It's your chest. You just,
It's hard.
it's like when you're saying, come at me. Go back. Come at me.
Yeah.
Go back.
Hold me back.
Hold me back, bro. Hold me back.
Oh, man. But yeah, I do love me a good little kip. But
Yep.
it's definitely an essential. I
So,
would say.
so what are some of the things that we're talking about today?
Yeah, that's it. Well, I feel like one of the biggest things, again, since this is a part 2, I think that first and foremost, congrats, you're on your way to becoming a CrossFitter, an average CrossFitter, right? And learning more about the cool tools and the accessories that other, aficionados or other people at the gym are sporting or looking at. And I
Yeah.
think when I joined the gym, there was a lot of tools that I was like, I don't know what that is, but you're wearing it and it's helping you
want
in your
it.
rope climbs and it looks cool. How do I get it and where do I get it, right? And I think it's really overwhelming as a new CrossFitter to see and learn about all of the different articles that CrossFitters use, because there's a good number.
Yeah.
And I know we just talked a little bit about footwear and apparel and clothes. So in this sequence, we're going to jump into the extras that can help supplement your workouts and also make you look super cool. So in this segment in particular, we're going to focus on wraps, grips, knee sleeves, and we're also going to be jumping into belts and jump ropes and then other little essentials like chalk and tape. But to get us started, I know that's a lot. To get us started, we're going to go ahead and look at some of the brands that I myself like and also Blake likes when it comes to grips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Leading off into that kip, what kind of grips do you like?
Well, I think for me personally, the ones that I've only purchased and that I love are the Bear Complex grips. So Bear Complex as a brand is an official partner of the CrossFit Games this year. But they're the ones that I've had for the last 3 years. And truthfully, I don't see any kind of like tear or anything bad that's happened to them so far. Mind you, I feel like I don't use them every single time I do pull-ups. I kind of do like to get the little calluses going because I think for me it's essential eventually. But they're lightweight. They're easy to quickly strap on. I like that they have kind of like that wrist support. So it's like tight on the wrist, which for me is a big pain point when it comes to doing things like thrusters or barbell moves. So I like that it has that little wrist Velcro strap on there. And then mine does have the little 3 holes on the grip. So I could just insert my fingers in there and kind of go through it. I personally love them, especially when I have like rips or I'm feeling really tender in my hands, because there's some days that I do feel, I guess, more tender than others.
Yeah.
So for me, they're amazing, great, durable material, which I feel like with different kinds of grips, they're more on the softer side. And this grip in particular has a carbon fiber water resistant material that feels amazing. Those went for about $45 for me. And again, I haven't had to buy any other kind of grips. Those are the only ones I've had for the past 3 years. So I like that I didn't have to buy any more, that they've been really durable.
Yeah.
But how about you?
I need to use my grips more. So like how you said, like barely use them, you need to practice with them.
Right.
And get used to what you're trying to feel. I use the RX Smart Gear. RX Smart Gear sells a lot of things, and I
They
feel
do.
like Bear Complex sells a lot of these companies are starting to sell more than just one thing.
Right.
And I have the Alec Smith edition. And so these are a size medium. It also tells you which side to put it on, right, left. And
Oh.
it has this special little hook to put in if you wanted to roll it down in between while you're lifting.
Ah, I like that.
Yeah, they have that. I really like it. This brand doesn't have the hole. So this Alec Smith version. Sorry, I keep trying to enunciate the Alec because I thought it was Alec Smith. Dave was like, "Oh my gosh, like you need to get those Alec Smith grips." And I was like, "You're telling me the quarterback that used to be on the 49ers has grips?" And he's like,
Mm.
"Who?" And I was like, "The quarterback." Because I'm a 49ers fan and
Mm.
Alex Smith used to be a quarterback for us. And he's like, "No, Alec Smith, one of the Smith brothers." And I was like, "Oh, the gymnast. Yes, I do." So I really liked them. I did used to wear them a lot, and then I just also like to build up my calluses.
Yeah,
But
same.
this does help because it has that wrist strap, and then feeling that hang motion. I thought it was just meant to be like on there for like to cover your hand, and
Right.
it's meant to actually where you can feel that hang and where that grip is gripping the bar for you.
Mm.
But I really do like them. I've had these for 2 years. I need to
Oh,
get
okay.
back into wearing them and using them because
Same.
once you do it, it's really good for your grip in your hands.
Yeah.
So I enjoy them. I know that there's that another brand that's really big that we were talking about, and this brand neither one of us have used, but we try to bring you guys the brands that you might see more often, and it's Element 26. They highlight that they offer exceptional grip when used with chalk. I also use my grips with chalk.
I do too. Yeah.
and that was like the biggest thing. I chalk my hands and I chalk the grip.
Same.
They're made of a rubber surface built in grooves, so they provide great traction, sweat absorbing, and they go for about $40.
All right, not bad. Average.
My RX Smart Gear, they go between $45 and $60. My Alex ones that
Classic.
you said were $60, and I was like, I think I got them on sale
because they're
though.
probably limited edition, you know.
Yeah, that's
Which-
special.
And yeah,
Yes.
lots of brands will do that. They'll sell limited edition, like athlete based products. And I mean, honestly, it's just them kind of sponsoring or going above and beyond. Are they the same or different? Personally, maybe just stylized differences, but for the most part, I feel like they're pretty the same as their other products.
Yeah. And with like this essential episode, these are things that you can get and practice with.
Yes.
It's not that you need to get right away.
Right, exactly.
Right away is comfortable clothing that you like wearing during the workouts and shoes that actually go with the workout.
These are more supplemental.
These are, add-ons.
Yeah.
So yeah, grips is something that you need to practice with over and over. They're going to be really weird.
Yes.
Some of them, I mean, when I first got them, I was like, okay, so they're just going to hang on to
Help
the
me
bar
grip.
and I just don't have to do anything. And I was like, oh no, I have to actually still do work. They just help with little things once you get used to
And
them.
that's a good point. I didn't think about grips where you're like, if you're transitioning from doing pull-ups on the rig and then having to go to the barbell, having to kind of remove your grip or kind of move it out of the way so you could move on to the next thing. That's another thing that, you know, accounts for time. Like if you're a competitor, you know, like that's something you need to think about. A lot of the coaches, I feel like when I joined CrossFit, they're like, these are all things, don't even worry about purchasing all these items. You know, like first start off with, you know, without grips, building those calluses, working on what that feels like. And then eventually you'll get to a place where, okay, maybe I could add supplemental things. But again, like Blake and I said, for the most part, we use grips sometimes, but I wouldn't say I use it every time.
Yeah, but I think right now we need to start practicing
We do.
with them. Yeah.
Speak the truth there. But I think that's a really good supplemental piece in CrossFit is I see a lot of people with grips and we offer them at the gym too. So good thing to look at.
Another thing that I really enjoy and I actually use a lot are my knee sleeves. So knee sleeves provide the support and the compression while performing exercises, such as running, box jumps, squats. They help with when you're lifting with your knees.
Yeah.
They aid in reducing pain and providing support and offer a variety of compression. So the brand that I really enjoy is EXO.
Okay.
I
have heard of them or seen commercials.
And I use the lightweight.
Ooh, I like them in pink.
So And they have such cute colors.
They have the blue
yellow,
ones I've been eyeing.
teal, yeah. And so I think it was like a couple years ago, somebody at the gym, I was doing lunges. And back then I had the thicker compression ones, but I bought them off of Amazon. I didn't size right. I was one of those who didn't measure.
Yeah, same.
And so like they were really
So
tough
much
to
work.
get on. And it was in the middle of the workout and I was like, "Oh, my knees." And they were walking front lunges.
Oh,
And
man.
she was like, "Just use my lightweight," and I could put it over my foot because she's like, "They're light, they stretch. You could put it over their foot. It's a light compression, and it helps you with those lunges just to have enough." And so after that, I was like, "Oh, I need to get me a pair."
Yeah.
And it was really good. They run for $29.
Not bad,
And then they're heavier ones because they have heavier, thicker ones, which I really want to get too. Those are $49.
Okay.
And I do like when I lift or when I do things like if you're just in a lifting session, I like wearing them. If you're starting to feel like knee issues,
Right.
they're not a brace, so they're not there to help you lift in that to just completely brace your knee. And in that sense, you shouldn't be lifting if you hurt your knee and wearing a brace.
True.
These are just to help with the compression.
Yeah.
And so I do put my light ones on and I can feel afterwards if I don't use them or if I do, but I need the thicker ones. I am getting up there in my age. So my knees are clicking.
I'm like, I love that when we're all warming up for like squats and everyone goes for their initial warm up squat and you just hear everywhere all across the room and you're like, oh, there you go. We're all feeling it.
So their heavy duty ones are for $49. Their lightweight is $29. They also have weighted vests on their site. They have belts. They have the knee sleeves. They have wrist straps. So again, another brand that like tries to do a lot of things, but I love their knee sleeves. Yep.
Yeah, I do appreciate the colors they offer too. I think some other brands to speak to about knee sleeves. We do have Rogue Fitness, which again is a big brand in CrossFit. They do have limited colors, I would say, because being a color gal who likes fashion and things, I feel like I look at those things. But Rogue Fitness does have limited colors, but they go for about $40, so it's definitely one of those affordable brands.
Yeah.
Again, personally, I don't wear knee sleeves, but I have been eyeing them because I feel like I'm starting to feel the lack of knee support, especially when it comes to doing like heavy building squats. So I've been looking at that. I know Bear Complex also has knee sleeves. They're a little bit on the pricier end, going for about like $50. But they do have more variety in colors and patterns, which again is a sell for me. And they're also made out of this great charcoal fiber, which I think bamboo charcoal fiber, which I don't know if you know about bamboo brands, but they're really like breathable, fresh. And I'm like, I like that.
Like charcoal. I like using face masks for charcoal. So
there you go. Like, is there a correlation? I don't know, but I'm like, there must be.
And I know that we went over Element 26 as well does that. And their knee sleeves go about for $40. And they go on like they have different thickness of sleeves as well. So depending on that, the thicker probably is the more expensive.
That's fair.
But yeah, I do really enjoy them. And it's something that I use compared to my grips that I need to use more. So yeah.
That's fair.
But let's go into what about like things for
some
your
wrist support.
Yeah.
Which I think is a big one for me. Wrist wraps I use those every single time I can. And I think it's because I do work from home, so I type literally 8 hours a day. And in addition to that, I just use my hands a lot, I feel. And I need that extra compression on my wrist to provide that support and especially reduce the pain when it comes to doing things like thrusters. Because, oh, Lord, that gets me every time. No matter how much I stretch those wrists, like it gets me. So Tough Wraps is my go-to wrist wraps. I've had them since I've started, and they have the cutest colors.
They do. They're so cute.
They're really cool. They're more on the pricier end for wrist wraps. They go for about $34. But again, they have amazing colors, and they have like this own kind of like patented like wrist wrap kind of thing where it doesn't have a thumb loop, which I personally like.
Yeah.
And it has kind of like this system where you're able to wrap it around and tighten it without needing any kind of like, again, thumb loop or anything, and they work absolutely amazing. They are made out of a cotton polyelastic blend, so it's able to absorb sweat, and it also doesn't irritate your skin or chafe your skin, which is great.
I think that's nice because I know like Noble and some other companies are starting to do that cotton like kind of wrap for sweat.
Yeah.
So to have something that's also helping your wrist and helps with sweat. I
Right.
mean, I've tried yours on and I think they're pretty cool. The only thing is like I wear a watch, so like wrist wraps for me. I also just use one of my
Really?
one wristbands and it has the thumb. It was given to me.
That's
And I think that's the biggest thing when you go to a gym and sometimes you're new and you're like, oh man, this hurts. And people are like, oh, well, I got a new set. So here's this.
Yeah.
Like I gave somebody my belt because I got a new belt or
cool.
things like that. Or my other wristband. I think I was like, oh, well, I only need it for one wrist. So you can have it for the other one. But even
That's
with the
nice.
wristbands, the knee sleeves and things like that, this is something that you're going to build stamina
Yes.
for. And it's not until you absolutely need it for this essentials. But I know Rogue Fitness sells them.
They do.
Sell it with the thumb
loop.
loop. And they're usually go for like around $14. They are different in length.
Right.
From like 12, 18, 24.
I forget about the whole length as a factor.
Yeah, they have length. They have some that like just some companies sell ones
just
that
a quick wrap. Yeah.
Yeah. Or like the one I have Velcros.
Oh yeah.
Some like the tie, and I was like,
I
how
do have the Velcro.
That? But I think Velcro's
so much easier. Yes. That's the only way I go is the Velcro version.
And then Two Poot sells wrist wraps as well for like about $18. They're cloth wrist wraps. They have really cool patterns.
Mm-hmm.
So
Always
again,
do.
it depends on how you're going. I know Joyce, he likes more of the matching things. I just do bright colors for whatever. I don't really care.
Right.
But patterns are cool too.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it's always like if you feel good in what you're wearing, you do good or whatnot. So
everyone who knows me knows I shop at Ross and I like to flaunt the fashion. So if I could get a cute colored CrossFit gear, I will do it. I will pay an extra $2 for that color.
So now that we've covered the knees, the wrists, and the hands, I think maybe we go into some, what is it, belts?
Fun tools. Yeah,
some
additional.
belts.
Right. So for the second part, we want to talk a little bit about belts and jump rope in particular. I think one of the coolest tools when I joined CrossFit was the weightlifting belt because I would see people with it and I'm like, oh man, to me that was like the true sign of a CrossFitter. If you have a belt, then you're lifting heavy weight, and that's bad. That's badass.
Yeah.
So I feel like this is one of the most controversial items because it's not one of the items that I feel the coaches recommended you get initially once starting CrossFit. I think I had even asked about it, and Coach Chris was like, not even on your first year, like don't even worry about getting a belt your first year of CrossFit while you're working on, strengthening your core and strengthening pretty much all of the areas of your body that you're going to need to weightlift. So for that first year, it's not recommended to get a weightlifting belt just yet, but it's definitely something to look forward to as you kind of expand your repertoire with CrossFit. At the end of the day, a weightlifting belt is there to help. It's like a safety net for your core muscles when it comes to weightlifting. It allows you to stabilize your spine and the surrounding muscles while also allowing you to lift with a more neutral posture. So being able to maintain that posture while weightlifting and help reduce the risk of injuries and strains. So I personally have a Rogue belt that I got as a hand-me-down from Coach Cindy. And that thing, it might look a little ripped up, but it still does the job. And again, I only use that maybe on days we're lifting like 85 to 90% heavy weights or my heavy. Anything below that, I don't wear a belt. But yeah, I carry that thing in the back of my car whenever we need it. So it's my little go-to. But they're really neat. Mine is a Velcro one as well that you could just quickly pull out. I think weightlifting belts are one of those things that are a little on the pricier end. I know for Rogue, like the basic nylon material one goes for about $55. It's like a basic buckle and roller, but they also have something that's a little more advanced, like the leather made ones, which are very nice. And of course, being leather, that's going to be a little bit more on the pricier end. But again, these are things you can look at. How about you?
Yeah. So the one that my first belt was actually from Big Five.
What?
Yeah, it was from Big Five.
They sell those there?
Yeah. And
I'm really curious what the brand was.
I don't even
like
remember
Champion
what the
or
brand,
something.
probably because I remember Brandy, when I worked out in Maricopa, I had asked her where she got her belt because it was pink. And she's like, oh, at Big Five. And they had a purple one.
See how the color pulls you in? It's like
I just love purple's my favorite color. But I also have pink, and like if purple's not in there, then I'll get
belt?
pink. No, I wish. I have the King and Barbell
CrossFit?
Club
Oh,
gold one. But I've always wanted to get Tupu'd because I've heard that they're the best belts, and they have such amazing patterns.
they do.
And you can get glitter, and you can get any kind of pattern, or you could get customized. And they have the 3-inch or the 4-inch. And our gym actually recently, a couple months ago, did where they customized where you could get a Kingman CrossFit one. And I remember when
we should get a savagely scaled one.
Oh,
right?
With glitter, because I asked Chris if he could make it glitter, and he was like, no. And I was like, oh, is it like the color of the gym? Well, duh, because
I just have to point out, you did get that USA glitter shirt, and that thing was like a crowd favorite. So, I mean, if that's any sign about how we need glitter in the gym, I mean.
But, and then I was like, is it the colors of the gym, which is blue and white? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, from a business standpoint, yeah, it should be.
See, yeah.
And he's like, well, then we're doing a gold one. And it is. It's like a yellow gold.
Yeah.
And I got that one. It's for Kingman Barbell because he has a barbell club. I'm not part of it, but I got a belt.
How do we get in?
You have to be the lifter and get the singlet. Remember?
Oh, that's right. I'm still waiting for that pink singlet, though.
Oh, yeah.
My birthday's coming up, Coach, so.
Yeah. So that ranges from 65 and up, like depending on if you want to customize. There's patterns. There's also some of the athletes have their kind, because Danielle Bramlin has her own kind. So again, it's some of them get sponsored through it so they can make their own design. I know Alexis Rapchis has her own design too. So, but I like it because it makes me feel stabilized. I can Velcro it, or it has a locking mechanism to help.
I feel a whole. It's kind of like when you wear lifters to weightlift.
Yeah,
and you feel that.
Feel it.
Yeah, I feel that.
And it is, and it's more used, like you said, how you use it, like at 85%. Like that's a good percentage to start wearing it. And the reason why we don't want newer members to do it, because their 85% could be like the 35-pound bar,
right?
Or then they'll start wearing it for every time, like at their 20% and their 30%, and it's like, you need to first learn how to use your core and stabilize yourself before, because in the real world, you shouldn't be lifting something that's 200 and something pounds daily.
Yep.
And if you are using something in the form of a belt at your work. So
that's a good point.
It's very eye-opening because a lot of people they want to get everything and wear everything.
I was one of those.
Me too.
I got excited. Yep. I was just like, buy it all.
Yep. Buy everything. Me too. But it's very eye-opening that, when you're like, oh, I'm wearing this specifically for something. Right. And that's the same with the grips. Like if you just got your pull-ups and you're doing singles, no need to buy the grips. Yeah. And the knee sleeves is if you're starting to feel like your knees are after a lifting day, that's what's giving you an issue the next day. And it just recently started happening, then going into those.
100%. Yeah.
What are some other belt companies?
Yeah, I think Jim Reapers is one of
and I've heard of them, yeah.
I feel like I wish I bought more of their things, because when I looked into it, I was like, they are more on the pricier end. They go for about 120, but this company is like legit dedicated to like making belts. And when you look at the stuff and their catalog, there's just like, oh my god, they're absolutely amazing. They have a lifetime warranty, which speaks
awesome,
right? That speaks to like they believe in their product and it must be really good. But yeah, they range from about like 120 to 190, and they have this amazing strength kit that I saw on their website that includes like, imagine like your whole package for CrossFit. It comes with knee sleeves, grips, wrist straps, and a belt for 190.
Oh,
and I was
that's
like,
nice.
That's a really good deal to have for someone who's brand new and maybe wants to knock them all out in one like purchase. So that's a great website if you guys are considering to just buy an all package. But yeah, Jim Reapers, check them out. Definitely worth a look. So now we're going into jump ropes. I love jump ropes.
It's okay.
Like devil unders, bleh. Well, you can still get a jump rope for singles and for cross jumps.
I just hooked 14 together the other day. Yeah.
Shout out to Carol as well, Coach Carol. She said she was linking like
Ooh,
20
she was linking
or
some
30.
because she's been doing some programming.
Yeah, she said she linked like 20 or 30, and I was like,
Yep.
oh, you know
She's
how
been
hard it is?
practicing like every morning, and really she's doing a programming through it's Physical Force, I think. And I follow them on
Ooh.
Instagram, and it's run by a physical therapist and a games athlete.
Okay.
And they have all kinds of stuff up to pull-ups, bar muscle-ups, double unders, and you do this programming
that.
through them. And she's been putting in the work.
There you go. Shout out
Yeah.
to you, girl. Keep
Good
it up.
job.
Keep it up.
Yeah.
But on that route, you know,
Yeah.
speaking of
Which
jump
one
ropes,
do you like?
girl, I never trade my Rogue Tia Toomey speed rope, man.
Oh,
I
man.
got that for Christmas from my mom. And I did buy it at the time when it was just released, so it was like ridiculous, like $90 or something like that. Now, if you go on the Rogue website, it's about $30 to $50, but most speed ropes are around that. Now, there's different kinds of jump ropes, and that's where
Yep.
things get complicated.
Yep.
Because there's like the thin speed ropes, there's like a thicker like strength rope, and then there's just different kinds.
Yeah. Then there's the heavy ropes,
right.
that are weighted to do things because you can do weighted double unders.
It's insane.
In some things.
Why?
Yeah. There's some that
Why?
like the jump rope, usually the handle rotates while the rope stays the same. And there's some where the
Yeah.
rope doesn't rotate at all, or the
Mine
handle
has
doesn't
one of
rotate
those,
at all.
which I love.
Yeah, most like jump ropes, it rotates, but
yeah.
there's harder ropes out there for training or for like what the games athletes, what a workout might be for them. So, because a big thing is crossovers, and a lot of them have to use back in the day those elementary ones.
Yep, with
to
the
get
little
it.
every time you
Yep.
cramp it. But yeah, I would say Rogue is for my speed rope. That's where I got mines. But RX Smart Gear is like revolutionary too when it comes to
Yeah,
to
and
ropes.
most gyms have that.
Yeah.
And we do, and that's a good practicing rope. The guy who owns it
Mhm.
actually came in and dropped in.
No way.
Yes, and when he was there, because he was his parents or something lived in Golden Valley.
No way.
I believe. And so he dropped in. Yes. I remember going in, and I had to go coach 9 a.m. And here's all these coaches who did open gym. I didn't do it back then because it was too early.
Yeah.
Now I do. And he was like giving them a one-on-one about how to perfect their double unders. Like completely.
I'm so jealous.
Yes. And then they did come in and they did a jump rope clinic. And it was, I think, $120, and you got your rope and you got like the clinic to do it.
I love that.
Yeah, it was actually really good. Like what he's doing and how he's programming and trying to get out there and things like that. And the jump rope, understanding where you need to be in your jump rope is good. I actually don't have any of those. I have the double under wonder.
Yeah.
Yes. Which they just came out with aluminum handles. I have the plastic ones. And they're very customizable in their colors. And you can get the rope in a different color. You can get both your handles in different colors. You
I
can
love that.
little things on your handles. I might want to just try their aluminum. I think their aluminum is $65.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Which one's your glow in the dark one, the light up one?
That's the RX Smart Gear one.
Oh.
And I need to do a video with it because I actually won. Yeah, I won it off of a Facebook post, which I thought was a scam. Because I was like, there's no way.
There's
and
a
they're
light
like,
up.
hey, what's your address? I'm like, great, I'm giving the scammer my address. And it was actually from them.
That is so cool.
Yeah, so it's an LED one. So we have to do
some
what
jumps on
single unders look like in the dark and what double
There's
unders
no
look
way
like
we're going to be able to do that. Thing looks heavy.
Yeah, it's a heavier rope. But my double under wonder is a speed rope. It's plastic. I did have to buy another jump rope because, and I have the video, I got so mad at myself for not getting double under that I threw it and the handle broke. Yeah, so I take better care of my jump rope nowadays. But I just strung 14 together one day, and it was on my last round, and I was fatigued, and I was able to do it. So it was good. Yes, I don't see why we have to do them.
Girl, you don't realize how essential, at least I
They're
think
hard.
so, how essential, like, footwear, the shoes you're wearing, it is for double unders. And I know it sounds ridiculous, but when I wear my Reeboks, I can't link them as well. When I wear my Nobles, I do.
See, my Nobles are too
I don't know if
heavy.
it's the ridge of like the bottom of the
So like
sole.
when I
or-
want to protect my toes from getting hit, because y'all, when I hit my
Ah.
toes, I want to cry, and like the stinging, I rather get stung with it in the
Really,
back.
you get hit with the Nobles? Really?
Yes,
Those things
and
are thick.
I know, and I've worn my
You must
trainer.
be whipping that thing.
I wore my trainer pluses to protect my toes, but I
Yeah.
feel like those are heavy, and you guys are always like jump higher, and
Huh.
trainer pluses are heavy shoes. My Reeboks are
Oh,
not.
weird.
Yeah,
Well-
but I was wearing my Reeboks that day. I wasn't wearing. I was
Interesting.
wearing my flattest Reeboks
Interesting.
because I didn't think we were gonna be doing jump rope and running.
Girl, it's crazy. When it comes to double unders, it's a science for me.
know.
It's like I'm using the speed rope, I'm using these
Yeah.
shoes, and that's how it's gonna
I was
work.
actually like trying to practice like keeping my hands forward and my
That's
elbows
the hardest
in.
part, I think.
It is because it's so fatiguing
Mm-hmm.
after doing all kinds of
I get all
stuff.
stiff. I'm like,
Yeah, I know my face is like.
like, stop doing that. It's like I need to get these last few.
But I know that Arc Smarter, they also have the
They have the
Evo,
best. Yes.
which is like the Cadillac.
yeah, the elementary school ones that I remember.
No, the Evo, the EVO.
Aren't they the ones that have the little different
no,
colors?
the
Are you
EVO.
sure?
The EVO is like the Cadillac. That is like the best one
Hold
to
on.
buy. That Grace wants.
Ooh. I'm looking it up right now as we speak.
Yeah.
That
We've
looks
talked
like
about this in our group thing, and you're like, oh yeah, that's
why
good,
is it
but
so expensive?
It's 150, right?
Yeah.
But the cable, to buy the cable if it rips, is like $20.
So it's just the handles, you think?
Mm-hmm. Dave has it. Chris just bought Amanda.
Interesting.
Chris just bought his wife one for Valentine's Day.
How nice.
Yeah, but it is amazing because I've jumped with
Really?
Dave's.
I'm gonna ask Coach Dave if I can borrow it.
You should try it.
I
I mean,
kinda
yours
want
is
to.
pretty nice too because I've tried yours too. I
It's
like
not
yours
bad.
too.
It's not bad.
But yeah, no, they do the elementary school ones too with the chinks, but the EVO is like the creme
top
of
notch.
the creme.
Mm,
Yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe one day.
And I'm like, I'm not investing in that rope until I can actually.
Oh
like,
yeah,
get-
there's
because
why.
you're not just gonna buy. I mean, yes, part
Why?
of me bought the Double Under Wonder because if it's in the name, I should be able to get it. And it was also $29. So if you're not used to a speed rope or a light handles, like $29 compared to
Yeah.
like $100.
Girl.
Mhm.
Especially when you're just starting to work on it, it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, you definitely don't want to invest that much until you get to a good place.
Yeah,
That's fair.
but that's. I mean, yeah. So that's jump rope,
Yeah.
my favorite.
Right. And then for our last segment, we do want to talk a little bit about chalk and tape.
Mhm.
So most gyms do offer chalk on site, like Human CrossFit have the little chalk buckets, which you are always welcome to use, but you also have the option to bring your own if you want.
Mhm.
I personally do use the chalk at the gym, but I have my own called Primo chalk.
We have that chalk ball, huh?
Yeah, the chalk ball as well. And then it's like literally just like a little cloth ball full of chalk. And people usually, like men, like to put it in their pockets and just pull it out and pop, 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 hit
Yeah.
a quick little chalk. I personally just put my hand in there, tap it a little bit, and that's all I need. But I would say it definitely grips on your skin a little bit better than the one I use at the gym. So definitely worth one if you want to have one just readily available in your gym bag. But you love liquid chalk.
I
And
do.
I'm curious to hear more about your.
I love liquid chalk.
I love
I love
chalk, and my name is
liquid chalk.
Blake.
Love liquid chalk. Chocolate, liquid
I
chalk.
feel like it feels like glue though, so it like
So you have to let it dry. And that's the biggest thing. Like a lot of people put it on and they go straight to the bar, so it's
Mhm.
it's not gonna work,
yeah.
and it's gonna feel like glue.
Yes.
So
Then that's probably my
and you
problem.
just put like a pea size on or a little bit. I like to put it in between my crease of my fingers too.
Mm.
But I like it because it creates that barrier.
Mhm.
And I don't have to use a chalk because like back in the day, I'm getting goosebumps right now. My second grade teacher put his nails across the chalkboard.
Oh.
Yeah. And so
Ever
like
since then,
since then, I don't like to touch chalk a lot.
Mhm.
You know,
I feel that.
yeah. So the
You're like,
liquid
let's get
chalk-
through this
yeah.
segment.
The liquid chalk was really good. Mona was one of our coaches downtown before we moved, and she actually told me about it. And she's like, "Hey, have you ever used liquid chalk?" And I was like, "No." And the brand that I get is on Amazon. It's
Mhm.
literally called liquid chalk. And I know that we used to sell a form of it, that was an alcohol-based form.
Ooh.
And it does, like, when liquid chalk dries, or the alcohol-based one dries faster because the alcohol-based, you can see, like, chalk
A
on your
difference.
hands.
Mm.
Yeah, it's white on your hands once it dries. But
Interesting.
yeah, it's just like a different barrier. And when I use my grips, like, I would put liquid chalk on my hand grip and then put actual chalk on my grip.
Mm.
I just feel
Okay.
sometimes like the chalk particles can slide. Liquid chalk, because it has that tack texture,
Yeah.
doesn't slide as much.
That makes sense.
Mhm.
Yeah, I could see that happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've tried liquid chalk a few times, but I think the feeling that you get with the regular chalk is what I would get with the liquid chalk.
Yeah.
I feel kind of sticky.
Yeah.
But I would say I 100% agree with you on the feeling is definitely different, like in terms of the grip. Like
Mhm.
it definitely is less slidey than it would
Yep.
be if you were just using chalk. So that's a good point.
I only use it for the rig. I don't put
Yeah.
liquid chalk on if I'm going to lift heavy.
And there's another thing that people use is wax, which I personally don't use a lot of wax when it
I
comes
like the
to
wax.
the rig. But tell me a little bit more about wax and how it's used, because I just see people putting it on the rig.
So it's like another barrier that is tacky. So it has that tack.
But it's not directly on your hands, right?
No, it's just on the rig. So you put it on the rig. And I remember I used this in Maricopa. It was so awesome to use it. The only thing is, like, some people don't like it. So you have to clean it off of the rig, and it does build up. And then people put it all around the rig, and it's
Yeah.
like you don't need it on the whole round part of the rig, like just where
Just
your
where your
hands are
hands.
gonna be.
Yeah, I've
So, like,
seen that.
sometimes you're like, why is it under the bar when your hand?
Right.
So I really like it. I remember when Kingman CrossFit got on, they're like, look how cool this new thing is. And I was like, I actually used to use that all the
Right.
time. I feel old.
You're like, you noobs.
Yep. I like to say, I know this, and I can't believe none of you do.
Wow.
But yeah, you just rub it on, and you don't have to do too much. Again, if, like, you're new and you're like, oh, I'm gonna use this wax, and you don't have to use too much of these things. These are accessory things
Right.
that just to get your grip. But yeah, there's a preference. Some people don't like it, so then they don't go on those bars, or you have to clean it more.
Yeah, that's a good point.
With all of these things, it's like you said, preference of what you like.
Mhm.
I like wax.
Yeah.
I just feel safer on there. I've also seen too many videos where people's grips have failed and they have let go of the bar and made toes to bar and completely fallen, or even like bar muscle ups.
That sounds absolutely terrifying.
You know, it's the same with the box. You hit the box, boom. I've seen somebody completely.
We've all been there.
Yeah. Cotton had to get stitches with hers. I've actually been somewhere where somebody, like, cracked their shin and fractured their. Yeah,
it's giving me the heebie-jeebies.
I know. So that's why I like certain things.
Oh my god! Way to scare the audience.
Sorry.
That will not happen.
Yeah. But another thing, like, for barrier, like, there's tape. People use tape for lifting. I do
lift tape.
Yeah, I use the 2-poo tape for my thumb for my hook grip, which I actually really, really enjoy because
I like them too.
yeah, it helps because I used to get cracks and
or just like irritation, like redness.
yeah, irritation, and then, like, my skin would just dry from the chalk.
Yeah.
So then I would it would be so chapped
and tender.
Yeah, and I finally gave in because I was like, you guys are all weird wearing tape on your thumbs. How weird is that all people, you know, I think every situation I go to, whether watching a show or things and everybody's doing it, I'm like, I don't want to do it. I would never be a good cult person because I never like to do the same thing as everybody else.
You're always a devil's advocate, pretty much. Is that what you're saying?
And then I'll watch the show, like Bridgerton. I just watched that, like 2 months ago, and everybody's been watching it.
Girl, you laid
It's
in the game.
amazing.
It is great. It's fantastic.
But I was the same with, like, tape or, like, with liquid chalk or anything like that. It was just like,
you're like, I'm not going to be a follower. I'm going to wait a week and then I'm going to follow.
Yeah. And I'll do it when nobody's around to see if I really like it. Because I don't want to be like, oh, yeah, I love it. This is shit.
Yeah. I feel you on that one. But I'm with you. Tape, when you wrap that around your thumb, is like a lifesaver when it comes to weightlifting. Nice. It does. And I feel like that's another symbol too that when I saw, I was like, why do people wear tape? It's like, if you're a weightlifter, you know.
Yep.
You know. So I was like, all right, I get it. And then they have different cute colors, you know, and tape. So I appreciate the pink every time. But yeah, I love that they have that also readily available at our gym because I feel like that's something.
We have belts. We also have for rope climbs. We got the new shin guards for the ropes.
Yeah. That's one of the items too that I bought, and I was like, I only need one, so I gave my other one to
I know, because
Amanda.
I used to buy. You could buy it in pairs of 2,
right?
Sometimes, and I remember like Dave had like his old pair, so he gave me one other one. This one, it's just one.
Oh,
And then we have the wad and done, and those are the things that you could put on for grips.
I love those.
Which I wore, and I really like them.
I like them too.
Yeah,
they're like a one-use kind of throwaway after a single-use thing, which is nice because like if you're traveling or something, I could see me taking that to a gym or drop in and like throwing it away. Yeah.
So it's nice also that our gym has that for everybody to try out. We have our belts available. So it's really awesome. Yeah. And we have tape and we have chalk and things
we
that
got
you
it
guys
all,
can get.
baby.
Yep. So if you need it, we got it.
Right. CrossFit. Shout out.
Yep.
But I think, being essentials part 2, I think it's very important to just, again, be mindful of, you're just starting off. You're just, strengthening those CrossFit skills. Yep. So as exciting as it is and as much as you want to go out there and buy those products, I'd say take it a little bit at a time. Don't buy everything all at once. Like Blake said, prioritize apparel and footwear first. Those are the biggest essentials. Once you have that down, I would even say slowly start buying like things, not all at once, because as you've noticed, things are kind of pricey when it comes to CrossFit tools. So maybe just dedicating one item maybe every month or every few months or something and slowly building it.
I think like the best thing to get after you get your shoes and your apparel is a jump rope. Because that is just like, then you can bring your rope.
And you could practice at home too. Yeah, and there's that.
Compared to everything else. And then again, slowly then pick another thing in the next couple months. But it's also things that if you're working on those things, will they benefit you? Or are they just going to stay in your gym bag for a couple months or a year before you're like, oh, I have that?
That's a good point.
So really think about those things for these essentials.
Yeah. But overall, we're just grateful to be able to continue to share with you some ways to further your CrossFit repertoire and also provide you with ways to shimmy up your gym bag, right? But again, we have our favorites. We have our favorite brands, our favorite products, but we want to hear from you. What are your favorite CrossFit tools and brands? And please, share them in the comments. But don't worry, we will be sporting the newest CrossFit games, all the CrossFit gear all the time. So we're excited to hear from you. Please share with us any tools that you might want us to review or any other items or things. But yeah, we're excited to share it with you.
Can we talk about some stuff?
Yeah, let's do it.
So since we're talking about essentials, and we did touch on that GoRuck is the new partner for the games. So I wanted to go more into what GoRuck is and what we're hopefully
I'm excited.
Seeing.
Yeah.
So GoRuck was founded in 2008. It was actually a husband and wife. The husband was a Green Beret. The wife was a CIA officer. Yeah.
Wow.
So I was like, that's really cool. So that's Jason and Emily McCarthy. So with GoRuck, they're going to launch a new CrossFit brand apparel line, CrossFit shoe, ballistic trainer. And this was designed by Paul Litchfield. And he's actually the inventor of the Reebok pump. Yeah.
Fancy.
So they're also supposed to have like the apparel and footwear for the seminar staff. So when you go to like a level 1, a level 2, the seminar staff that's at the games or at the semifinals and things like that, apparel and footwear for them as well. Because they like to have that brand of not like mismatch. And if you have a question, who you need to go to. Yeah. So along with trainers, it's also for the coaches, like level 1 and up. They're looking at assessing them for certain programs, discounts, and benefits with this brand.
I like it.
Yeah. Don Fowle, who's the CEO of CrossFit at the moment, claims that it's going to be the most important partnership.
Interesting.
Because we had Noble for a few years and we had Reebok. So, and GoRuck has made their appearance because they're very trail orientated, or like that go bag that they want to accentuate that you could carry as a weight and things like that. So even though it's a new partnership, I think they started at the games in 2019. In that games, they also were in the West Coast Classics. And they did an event for the 2023 semifinals.
So they were already dipping their feet in there.
Yeah. This is just a bigger partnership for, the apparel and the footwear for the athletes and for the staff and things like that. I don't know, because No Bull has such cute stuff. And Reebok because Reebok had an apparel line already and a shoe line. Same with No Bull, the apparel line and the footwear. GoRuck's apparel and footwear, it's kind of like, to me, like very military.
Yeah.
So I want to see what they go into with it.
I'm excited too.
Yeah.
I personally don't know much about the brand or heard of them as much.
Yeah.
But like you said, they give me like a Camelback vibe. Like they're like a hiking, like geared brand. And I mean, a girl, I like me some hiking.
Yeah,
but
and I like a variety of things, because Reebok was very different from No Bull in some sense.
Yeah, and the style.
Yeah, and so I like that venturing out into what this is going to bring.
Yeah, I like it. It's giving me tactical comfort, like clothing gear, which I'm about and I'm excited for. And we'll see how that goes.
Yeah,
I'm excited to see what they do with becoming a part of CrossFit.
So that was the news for this episode.
Well, this was a fun one. I loved always talking about CrossFit tools.
I do too, because I just love all of them, all of my items. I wear
I
all
always
of them.
want more. Yep. It never ends.
Yep.
There's the newest thing, the newest color, the newest pattern. There's always something.
Yes, there is.
We'll see what GoRuck's got to bring to the table this year.
Yeah.
Right?
Hopefully some good color, not just like tan and army green.
Well, we'll see. You never know. Maybe some army print pink.
I mean, army green goes with me, goes with my hair. But tan doesn't. Washes me out.
That's true. Yep. It's like you disappeared.
Yeah.
Anyways. Well, thank you everyone for allowing us to share some of our knowledge with you today and talk about some of the accessories that we like to sport at the CrossFit gym from day to day. But again, get back to us, share with us some of your favorite tools, some of your favorite CrossFit brands. We want to hear from you.
If you feel like this is your swig of pre-workout, please hit that follow button, share, and leave a review. Let us know.
Please.
And sometimes we can't see who's doing it. I know on Apple Podcasts, we can see who leaves a review. On Spotify, we can only see if you go into our questionnaire and tell us about this episode, which we love the feedback. So please keep giving us our feedback, and we love to do shout outs, and we love to do more and more shout outs at each episode. But a big thank you to you for helping me host. Yes. And this episode was written and edited by us. Shout out to you guys for listening.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Without you guys, we wouldn't be here. Yeah. And music was from SoundCloud and Upbeats. Findings and other content was from bearcomplex.com, element26.com, rogue.com, toughraps.com,
Oh, my land.
EXO, rxsmartgear.com, gymreapers.com. So many shout outs for those brands.
But yes, thank you so much, brands, for keeping us going on the CrossFit gym. And then again, thank you to all of you guys for keeping us going. We love coming here every week and spending some time with y'all and sharing our knowledge. But other than that, until we meet at the whiteboard again.
Bye.
Later.
That was the best.